Pashaparo. Thank you for tuning. Tarot Files. I know. Alright, so what it is always the perfect day. So whenever you actually get this, you know, it's the perfect time for you to get it. So let's see here. Let's get into the core of the situation. The situaciones coming up on the end of April for everybody. For some of y'all, some of us, you know what I mean? There's no such thing as time. It all just bleeds together. All right, we're gonna see what to do here. Hold on a second. Okay. All right, so today we're going to be using the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot deck. All right, let me get this on the screen for you. And then how is y'all April so far? How 2021 treating you? Let me know in the comments below. Meanwhile, I'm gonna get this on the screen here. Momentarily. So what we have here to start, right, is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. And let me get that here. So the Wheel of Fortune was the Sphinx, right? And that's all about your destiny, okay? So it's dealing with Jupiter, which, you know, some people know Jupiter, Juno, money, right? So your destination, or excuse me, your destiny, right? Get this in here. Destiny. I'm gonna say money. We're gonna see where it goes. So now the key decisions, general meaning is key decisions and actions, right? So you're gonna make some choices. You got some choices coming up this week. You got some key actions, and it's gonna award you some opportunities. And like there you go with the Jupiter Fortune, right? So money moves. Money moves choices this week, right? Money move choices. And destiny, grace, individual karma, and events, right? So unexpected changes or events, fluke, world of events, and fortune. So there's some things so far look like it's gonna lead wherever you're at right now mentally, right? You got some things that are actually taking place that are going to put you into a much better situation. Now, whether that's going to be long term or short term, but I mean, hey, $1 million in the short term can go a long way, right? So, but let's see what else we got going on. So, let's say unexpected fortune. We'll just leave it like that. Unexpected fortune. And in the business and work sector, you got the market, you got high turnover, you got great orders, fast profit. There you go. So, seasonal business dependent on natural factors and routines, right? So, relationship is its destiny, sudden, bright, and memorable. Okay. So the health is unexpected illness, fast recovery, academics. Now on psychological, you deal with consciousness. Wow. Perception of supreme law, right? Calmly accepts what destiny sends. So law of attraction, right? That's what this channel is built upon. And the supreme law, what is that to you? I'm just going to ask you, what's the supreme law to you? Everybody has, if you ask them that question, everybody has their own, answer to what they may say that is. But what's it to you, right? So the advice is acknowledge your destiny. Allow it to happen. What is meant. Talk to occultists and use the opportunity, right? So allow it to happen. What is meant. Don't hold on to what doesn't belong. Right? Because it has to make room for your destiny to arrive, right? See, if your destiny is okay, if you're holding on to all this stuff and all you have is a small space. Wow, this if you go to my page on the Pasha Power side, I just made a quote like within the last 2 days, a post or something, maybe definitely within the last week. I think it was 2 days, but it was basically saying like it could feel like you had to let go of everything, or you had to give up everything to get everything. What was everything to you? You see what I'm saying? Like, how do I want to go into it? Like, sometimes what's important to someone else, right, is not actually as important, may not actually be as important to you. However, now that could be in part or in whole. So a great opportunity for people is to realize that, hey, look, people do things differently, right? So if your destiny is this big and you're trying to hold on to everything, the universe or the Most High, based on your purpose, is going to make room whether you want it to or not. You see what I'm saying? Whether you want it to or not. And people are not going to understand how, no matter how hard they try to like deflate you, you keep elevating. And it's not because of you. Like, it's not because of you personally. It's because of what you're supposed to do in the world that the Most High or the universe or whatever you want to call the supreme law guiding you. Not saying that they're all the same, and not saying that they're not connected, But what I am saying is everybody got different thoughts. So whatever it is to you is actually going to make sure that the environment, that the atmosphere around you is conducive to your purpose. So you may have the best of intents. You may have the best of intentions. And the Most High going to call up, like we talked about in some of your other videos, Most High will call up the devil, be like, hey, look, have this person or have this or do that and do this, boom, boom, bam, because otherwise you would have been holding on to that situation or to that thing, and you would have not had the opportunity to do what you're supposed to do based on what your purpose is. Okay? And then sometimes it's just the simple fact that you both got the right idea, but you're just doing it on one. If you're gonna take and put something together this big, it's gonna take you a little longer than the person that just wants to do it this small. You see what I'm saying? And then the first isn't always best. You know what I mean? A lot of people came before you, but that's because what you're building may be a lot larger than what they put together, and that's not to say that the universe and the community and the people or whatever didn't need what they did. It's just to say that that's what their purpose was. And don't be in competition with others, because a poor mind is gonna try and be in a competitive nature against you. Well, I look what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So it's all a push. The universe is pushing everybody, the whole realm, in a certain direction, and some people are happy about it and some people are not. So anyway, that's what so things are happening for you right now. Don't overreact to them, because it's for a bigger purpose, and what you're going to be able to do in the future. When you look back on it, you're going to be like, man, I'd have never been able to do this trying to hang on to that situation, whatever it is. So some people are quitting their jobs, some people are leaving relationships, some people are moving, some people are just letting go of maybe being available. You see what I'm saying? Like, you make yourself available, and people don't value your time like you do, so they don't understand what it even means for you to be available. You know what I'm saying? So now the warning is, do not be a fatalist, right? Don't stop. Don't wait for the grace of the fate. Okay? So the result is a transformation from the lowest to the highest, and a period of luck. See? So you're going to actually, so don't let things get in your way. Okay? That's really, I think, what I'm looking at here. And if we go back to the card, well, I never took you to the notes here, but if we go back to the card, it's a lot of those are zodiac, so it's a lot of people, a lot of energy, circulating around. There's a whole cloud. You see what I mean? Like, and in the cloud it's clear, but once you get to that certain point, you can't see no more, because it's the cloud. You know what I mean? But if you look, there's some clearings in front by the book and in the rear over top of the head. So is this a parting? You know what I mean? This is a parting of the fog, and now you're being able to see clearly what's for you. And you have a book. Like, when I see the book, I think about the authority. Oh, that's the supreme law. So the supreme law, right? You guys been rocking with the channel for a minute, so you remember when we did the video on authority. The etymology of authority is actually the book or the quote that settles the question. So what's going to happen is, you have the authority. You see what I mean? And it's in your favor. Like, you try to share that with some other people, you could be all day. You know what I mean? They not, it's levels to everything. So everybody not on your level, and like we talked about in your past readings, you're ready to progress to the next level, and you've been looking for some people to take with you. And for reasons, you finding some, or not to say you finding some, but you realizing who can go, and you're also realizing who can't go. So remember, the core of this time period of you right now, wherever you're tuning into this, it's about destiny, money, and you going to make money moves, and it's going to be some unexpected fortune because you've been focused on this law of attraction. You've been building something for a long time, and people done overlooked you. They done doubted you. They done said, no, stay here with us. Don't do that. If you go that way, you're crazy. They done everything they can to try and prevent you from reaching your destiny. But no matter what they do, or in their minds, it doesn't stop. It doesn't even affect you. You know what I mean? So, and that's not, again, it's not because of you. It's because the Most High, the supreme law, the universe, whatever you want to call it, the authority is putting you in a position because you have work to do on an energy level. See, people talk about energies, they talk about spirit, but they not always tuned into it. You know what I mean? They don't put in the work in certain arenas to actually have to really be able to speak on a spiritual level, but it's cool, it's trendy right now. You know what I mean? So what it is that you have all this stuff working for you, and it's gonna part the clouds, it's gonna part the sea, and some things are actually, some people, some places, some whatever that you felt really whatever about, is gonna be shifted for you. Okay, so be prepared. Everybody can't go where you're going. So let's get to your past feelings and attitudes that led up to this position here. It's really a great moment here. I mean, you got to keep your emotions together because, like I said, if you're tied to people, if you're a social person, if you're a social butterfly, if you want to be, then this may not be the best thing for you because you're gonna be feeling some type of way about losing people. But if you're just focused on getting your goal together, getting your purpose, this this is the time you've been waiting for. So let's see here. We got 9. All right, so your past attitudes and feelings. Let me get this together here for you. You know what I mean? Like we were just talking about. If your friends. All right, so let's get it. What we got is we got the 9 of Wands, right? And give me a second here. I'll get that on the screen for you. Appreciate your patience. We rolling now. All right, so the thing about this though is, it's normally about strength, right? And how many times have you when you look back on your life, how many times has someone told you to be strong in the wrong situation? Like, is that smart? You know what I mean? So the card is the Lord of Strength, right? When it's in reverse, it's the necessary to go behind the barrier. Now, what is the barrier? Oh, could that be when we go back to the core? This, like we were talking about, this surrounding fog, this surrounding wall of clouds. Okay, is that what it is? Is that what it is? Could it be you're in your comfort zone? You know what I mean? You're comfortable with all these signs around you, these people, zodiacs, these people around you, and you gotta go beyond that. You see what I'm saying? Some of these people aren't gonna be able to come with you, but let's get back to it. So go beyond the barrier, right? Change of circumstances call for any measures. Okay, so you're trying to level up, right? You gotta go places to level up. That's how I'm gonna put it. To level up, you gotta go beyond. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why everybody can't go with you is like we talked about in the past readings. I still remember. I know it's been a while, but again, it's just when the time is right. When the time is right. It's 4:44. We putting that work in for you. So, look, if you follow the channel, and the Pasha Power channel, we put in a lot of work for y'all. You know what I mean? So, but you got to go beyond. Go beyond what? You got to go beyond what you're used to. You got to go beyond. You got to go beyond what you know, right? Go beyond what you know. Okay? Let me get this on here for you so you can see what I'm doing. For the new people. All right? So your past feelings or attitudes was to level up, you got to go beyond. You got to go beyond what you're used to, go beyond what you know. You know what I mean? And what happens when you come up with something completely brand new, futuristic, ahead of its time? Boom, money moves, unexpected fortune. You know what I mean? Because you were the only one that understood what you were doing. Think about when Tesla, they give credit to Tesla, but if you're on my pages, you've been seeing some videos, because I've been telling people for a while, they think you're crazy when you say, no, the pyramids might have been power plants transmitting energy wireless, and there's a lot of evidence for that, and there's antiquitech on the top of buildings, and there was wireless electricity going on hundreds and maybe even thousands of years ago, and you thinking that just because Apple gave you a wireless charging station that this is new technology. You see what I'm saying? So go beyond. You know what I mean? When that came out, though, right, in this manifestation, this version, so to speak, where everything costs something and people are all focused on money and all that stuff, and that's all they think of. You know what I mean? You can't, so when that's the case, right, and to me that's backwards. You see what I'm saying? It's backwards, because when you focused on money, you chasing the money. When you focus on building something great, the money comes. You see what I'm saying? The money comes. So when your purpose is to build something, that supreme law, that authority, the most high, the universe, is going to make sure you have what you need. Now, the thing is, people are building on different levels. So a person that can only see 5 feet in front of them. Let's go back to it. Matter of fact, wow, man, I'm glad you guys are here with me today. So look, if for the people that can only see 5 feet in front of them, right? They'll never believe that you're building something that's 200 feet in circumference if they're standing in the center of it. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you guys are standing there together in the middle of a circle of this, their cloud, their perimeter of vision, their field of view, right? And you're standing there with them, like, yeah. And they're like, look, I'm doing all this. I got all this going on right here and all this stuff in their little 5 feet bubble, right? And you're like, yeah, I'm building something. That's, I'm building something too. I'm working on something. And they just like, I don't see it. I don't see nothing that you ain't doing nothing. I don't see nothing, because they can only see 5 feet, and the perimeter of what you and your crew is working on is like, might as well be half a mile out of their view, and that's why they feel like you're not doing nothing. But see, what'll happen is, as one or two things: either they're never gonna get out of their little fog, or when their fog lifts, this is why, like, as an artist, they be like, oh, they blew up overnight. I remember being younger, talking to people, like, and they'd be like, yo, Wiz Khalifa came out of nowhere. He just blew up overnight, like on the internet. He just blew up overnight. And you're like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But if you ever built something, that shit ain't overnight. It's just to the people that's late to the party that feel like, and it's not even that they late. It's not even that they late. Let me not say it like that. It's they got it they got wind of it when it was time for them to get wind of it. You see what I'm saying? But Rome wasn't built overnight. And no matter what side of that cloud, that barrier that you're on, if you're on the inside and you're looking at people like, man, they ain't about shit, they ain't doing nothing, you might need to, what? Hold on. You might need to, or your past actions at some point, for those that are reaching this core situation now, you might have had to go beyond what you knew. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, the first level thing to get out of the level of first level of consciousness is to admit that we don't know what we don't know. Everybody trying to tell you they know everything, right? I know this, I know that. What I know is infinity. So guess what? That's truth. You know what I'm saying? And I like to deal with people that are in tune with truth. Everything else is a fantasy. As soon as you say something's not, you know, you cut off infinity and you put it into this little box, and that's why titles and all this BS come in that society is so Google-eyed over and drooly over. It's a fantasy because, like, you're seduced. You might as well be doped up with some sort of drug because you're looking at infinity, but you're only seeing a fraction of it, and that's all you believe in, right? So you came to the point at some point where you realize, hey, to level up, I gotta go beyond. I gotta go beyond what I'm used to. I gotta go beyond what I know. Now, the danger is, like I said, if you know infinity, there is no finna go beyond, right? But to get there, you had to have a point in your life where you say, you know what, there's something more to this. Okay? So keep that in mind, right? Attempt to expand. Like I said, some people are quitting their jobs, right? So they attempt to expand, and it says there is no opportunity to continue work as earlier. So you're quitting your job because that was in the way. If you're quitting your job this month, first quarter 2021, next couple of weeks, it's because your job is in the way. You go there, you give them people tons of your time, and how much time do you have left to work on you? Right? Do they appreciate? It's not even, you can't even ask, do they appreciate? Like, the company is looked at as a person, and it's 50, 100,000 million people working with you. How can you give any one person authority over how you feel, you know what I mean? It's not that they treat you bad. It's not that they treat you good. It's that, how can they give a fuck about you when they trying to be part of a business that's designed to do this, right? So who's going to give a fuck about you? To level up, you got to go beyond what you're used to. You got to go beyond what you know. So you got to go beyond the barrier. Matter of fact, I need to put that down. Go behind the barrier. Let me put that in there. Because I'm going to put it as the wall, though. What's on the other side of the wall? You see? What's on the other side of the wall? Because this is why I'll tell you what's changing right now in society. What's changing is the control structure, especially when you're talking about gatekeepers. Oh, everybody wanted to be a gatekeeper. Everybody wanted to feel like they had the power to make or break you, and without them you were nothing, and all this stuff, right? Well, as people are finally getting in tune with the internet, and I say finally because some of us were online when we were 10. You know what I mean? Early millennials. And so when the rest of the world caught up with like text messaging, and I remember I had the SkyTel pagers. When I didn't have the big boy, I had the mini boy. You know what I mean? Like the superstars had the big one that fold out in the music videos. I had the baby version of that. It's the same thing, it was just smaller. So it was cool. I could text the message, and the computer would call your house and tell you, hey, Pasha said come outside, and motherfuckers be coming outside looking crazy like, yo, did you just, yeah, that was me, I sent that from my pager, You know, back in the day. So like by the time the rest of the world caught up with technology, like we were bored with it. You see what I'm saying? We were already bored with it. They late. Or it was just the time for them to get it. You know what I'm saying? So what's on the other side of the wall? So with the technology, the gatekeepers no longer have the same control that they had. You know what I mean? So it's frustrating to them because you got access to everything you want. The question is, what do you want? You know what I mean? And is what you want based on or limited by what you know or what you're used to? What's on the other side of the wall? All right, let's see here. So relationship is timid step to each other. Yeah, that's because timid step to each other. Just be, caution. Virgos are naturally cautious. A lot of other signs, it's just nothing but suspicion or cautiousness. But you know what? Hey, it is what it is. So, this is a point in time where, like we said earlier, everybody can't go. So, now, first steps after recovery. Now you quitting your job, you changing some things, you letting go of some stuff. Guess what? The minute you do that, I'm one of the people too. Like I quit my job last week. I ain't gonna phrase it like that. Like I like to, when I had time to think about it, I was like, you know what? I didn't quit my job. I was talking to somebody. I was like, you know what? I quit my job last week. I was like, you know what? And I said, you know what? I didn't quit my job. I actually reconnected with myself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you were whole, if you were 100%, well, you're giving them how much of yourself? You're giving that person that don't give a shit about you in that relationship how much of yourself, right? You're giving how much of yourself to all this stuff around you. You see? What happens when you recollect all that energy? What happens when you collect all and conserve all that energy and you put it into yourself? Your destiny. You can actually feel like you can achieve it now. At the same time, though, don't get it twisted. You're doing this now because of all the work you put in the past. So at the time and place, that was the right time and place for that. Then that's why it occurred. You see what I'm saying? So don't get confused with it. What's happening is when you were stuck, I'm not gonna say stuck, when you were at this position, this level, all of this worked for you. Now, because your goal, your destiny is up here, as we talked about in the last few, because this is a huge transition for you. I'm glad to be a part of it with you. So as you're leveling up, now you done spent some time on this level, you done got your stuff together, you're ready to go to the next level, and you're feeling that disconnect. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes the most disrespectful people are always the ones talking about being disrespected. So don't feel anything from the unplug, because it's not the unplug you need to be concerned with. It's where you're plugging into next, and you need to unplug, because if you wanted to move that whatever that has a plug in your home to somewhere else, you're gonna unplug it from this socket so that you can move it over here to what might be the better place, wherever you're trying to do with it, and then you're gonna plug in there, and it's gonna be a much more comfortable thing instead of being halfway stretched across, all inconvenience, trying to be here and there at the same time. It ain't for you. It ain't for you. It's not to say it wasn't for you 10 minutes ago, 10 years ago, but it's not for you now because of where you're going. All right. So this is your first steps after recovery. You done unplug from that shit, and then you start to feel like, wow, you know what? Your body start to feel different. You know what I mean? You start to realize you were twisted a little bit. You start working on your posture. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I didn't realize how much that shit was affecting me. You see what I'm saying? To level up, you got to go beyond what you're used to. Go beyond what you know. Once you go beyond what you know, wow, what's behind that wall, people? You know what I'm saying? So that's where we gotta get to. And the advice is you have to make new steps, overcome own boundaries and complex, right? So then the warning is make new steps. You don't know what is awaiting for you. That's where we're going back to this card. I know this is the card we're on, but see, check it out. This is what you don't know what's beyond the wall, but you gotta go because it's for you. What's for you is beyond the wall. Circumstances will force to relax, weaken the defense. So again, once you get into the right position for you, there won't be no need to be defensive. A lot of people right now, you know, are that's why, you know, everything is turned upside down on here. The sticks, you know what I mean, is what's going on with them. You know what I mean? When you put the sticks down, when you put the wands down, when you put the staff down, it's because you no longer need it as a weapon. You no longer need it as support. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's no longer a crutch for you. You can put the crutch down. You can let go now. You're in the recovery mode. See, and this is what a lot of people don't like about you right now is that, you know, they like to see you with that crutch. They wanted you to be on that crutch. That job, you know what I mean? They wanted you to be tied in here. They wanted you to be locked in there. They wanted you to take a title here. They wanted you to be in a position here. You see, united we stand, divided we fall. So think about that in terms of yourself as well. When you unite with yourself, that's why they mad at you. Because they are like all over the place. And they know that what they really want to do is they really want to unite with themselves. And they see that you can do it. And instead of saying, hey, how did you do that? They got to demonize you. Because then, you know, that's like they want to either bring you back down with them or just totally expel you altogether from view, right? Because to look at you disgusts them. Okay? And this is why everybody can't go with you. Because instead of them learning how to go with you, some of them actually, this is what happens. You know what I mean? You talk to people 10 years ago and you tell them something. You be like, look, this is what we need to do. This, that, but like, you go do it because they was what? They wanted you to wait on them forever, right? So you go do it. And then, or you already done something, you're telling them like, hey, look, this is how you do this. This is how you do that and then this, and then you don't got to worry about it. That. And they're like, yeah, whatever, And then 5 years go by and then they're like, oh yeah, I'm doing this now, this, that, and the other. And then they're talking to you like you have no clue and this is all new to you. And you're like, yeah, that's what I was telling you 5 years ago. I just plant the seed with people and you just keep moving on, or else you'll be stuck there with them forever trying to wait on the fruit. So let's get to it. What's next? Man, this is great. This is great. So your past actions, I think we know how you got here, but let's see what the card's gonna say. So you had to put the crutch down. That's what it is. Now it's your past feelings and attitudes. Let me get that for you. Let me get that screen for you. So what happens once you realize you had to put the crutch down? To level up, you must go beyond what you know, what you're used to find out what's on the other side of the wall. Let the crutch go. Coming soon to a movie near you. You know what I'm saying? All right. 3 is 8. Infinity. Too many. Redo that. Huh. Yep. That might be what you did. All right. Let me do my thing. So, your past actions, right? Was the 3 of Cups. And, you know, that's a water. I really like the thing that I saw that said water is kind of symbolic of the soul, of the spirit. Excuse me. So, you know, you're dealing with emotional love, self-love, your romantic love, you know, and this is in reverse. Now, the 3 of Cups is about the Lord of Abundance, right? And when it's in reverse, it's, since general meaning is sincere friendship and hangover, right? You got to get that party together, right? So your past actions was you had to have a party with yourself, okay? You know, hangover. I hear that as, you know, get drunk off of you. You know what I mean? Like, you've been getting drunk off of everything else. You've been getting drunk off of this. You've been getting drunk off of that. What happens when you, again, collect yourself and go into you 100%? So the events was unpleasant consequences, unexpected details, and emptiness. Now, when you're at a party and your cup gets turned and your cup is turned upside down, it falls. Or when you're at home and you spill, a cup turns upside down, it spills out. Now, go back to what we were talking about in the beginning, is you have to let go of what you're holding on to. So, same example. You have a cup in your hand. You got 2 options. If you, oh, this is nasty, I don't want this. Or you realize one day, like that first time that maybe that alcoholic says, you know what, I've been so seduced by alcohol. Today's the day. And they go, you know what? I just realized how awful this tastes. You know, maybe they're drinking some hard ass shit, right? I don't know. But, you know, there's a lot of good tasting stuff out there too. But let's say just work with me on this example. And they're like, one day they really taste it for the first time, because prior to that, they never tasted the alcohol. They never tasted the alcohol because their mind was so focused on the destiny of arriving at the drunkenness, the addiction to alcohol itself, the just feeding the fix, right? Isn't that why you clock in at your job every day? Indirectly. I mean, yeah, you're going to say, I got bills to pay, Yeah, everybody do, right? And shout out to the people that have been self-employed. And when you talk to some of them are like, well, I don't really want to do this anymore, but I got bills to pay. Well, they're technically no different than the person that's stuck at the job because they don't put themselves in a position where what they're doing, they no longer enjoy, but they feel stuck and trapped and they feel like they can't leave. So what's the difference? There's no difference. But they'll try to downplay you working for somebody else, or don't let them people downplay you working for someone else because they're going to tell you they're self-employed. They're just as miserable as you are, if not more miserable, because they have to do it all themselves. So whenever you get to the point of whatever it is in your life that you've been sipping on because you've been so drunk and addicted to the drunkenness, and you taste it for the first time, you're like, you know what the fuck has I been doing drinking this shit all this time? This shit's horrible. You know what? I don't want this anymore. You got two things that's going to happen. I mean, when that's your voluntarily thing and you're going to walk over to wherever, whether it's outside of the fence, the wall, or the sink, the wall of the sink, you're going to go over that wall with that cup and you're going to pour it out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Even if it's just out in the middle of the field at the park at the barbecue, you're going to let that shit flow over the wall of the cup into the ground. You're going to get rid of that shit. You don't want it no more, right? You realize it ain't for you because you have to go beyond what you know. You see how this is all tying together? Or the other side of the coin is the Most High, the supreme law, the destiny, the law of attraction, the universe, whatever you want to call, is going to say, hey, you know what? I told this motherfucker stop drinking this shit. Put some butter on them fingers, and you're going to be sitting there one day and be like, oh shit, I dropped my shit. And it's going to fall, and it's going to spill, and you're going to be like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm done with this shit. And you're going to feel like it was your choice. You're going to feel like it was your choice. All right. So that's going to be at the time, it's going to feel like unpleasant consequences. Whether that's the first time you tasted it, you're going to be like, oh, that's that. Or you're going to drop your drink and be like, oh, that just make, right? At that moment, it's going to be an unpleasant consequence. Just like getting everything that you were trying to hang on to, or you thought you were supposed to hang on to, removed from you. It might feel unpleasant if you're not in the right perspective or mindset when everything is just, the clouds are clearing for you. All right, so you're gonna, and that's where it says emptiness, right? You're gonna look out, you're gonna feel empty. You're like, man, this is my cup's empty, my world is empty, whatever it is for you, right? That's because now you ready to get filled up with the good shit. See, look at the people around you that are giving you the most problems. They shit is overflowing with shit they don't even want to be a part of. That's why they bitter, right? Your cup has been emptied out, and now you're filling it up with the shit you actually want, if not already full. Like maybe that's why you're at the point where, you know what, I'm full, because now, or you're getting full. You see what I'm saying? Somewhere in that arena. All right. So in the business was a serious decomposition began, right? Poured over the mud and market loss. Like we said, you had to decompose that life that you no longer wanted to be a part of. Maybe that's why there's no color to this one. I know there's some mixture, but this one has two of them in there. One that's colored, that's painted, and one that's not. So I think this one is absent of the color because everything has been empty. You see what I'm saying? It's a totally a blank slate. I mean, they had to put the lines in to show the Three of Cups, but otherwise it's a blank card. You see what I'm saying? For you, it's a blank canvas for you to paint now however you want. What color do you want the flowers to be? What color is the grass in your world? You know what I mean? Because the grass grows green, but I guarantee you could dye it and be the only house in the neighborhood with blue grass for real, or fire red grass. If you want to, they in California right now spray painting it green. You can get it spray painted red. What color you want the grass in your world? Who told you it had to be green? Yeah, that's natural, right? But I mean, if you wanted red grass, what I'm saying is you could have red grass. Somewhere in the world, there's red grass growing. You can import that shit and put your yard with natural red grass. But you're going to say, but I don't have to. Yeah, you don't have the funds today. But guess what you did? You emptied it out, all of the bullshit holding you back from being able to get the funds tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? Go get your red grass. You had to decompose that shit that was holding you back. You had to erode the chains that was on your mind and on your ankles. You know what I'm saying? It's people that's fucking mad at you right now, not because of anything you doing, except for the fact that they no longer have the chains they had around you. And you like, man, what did you didn't do nothing. And then, so, relationship is testing of reliability. See what I mean? Some of y'all are testing the people around you right now because you know you get ready to go to the next level and you've been disappointed before and you know everybody's human, even yourself. So you're like, you know what? Let me give some tests here. But you can't tell them you testing them because then they'll be prepared for the test. You want to know the truth. The truth is who you are if you were just doing your thing. And you just had to make sure, so you gave them some tests, and they could, and you're disappointed. Let that be. Let that be what it is. Remember that. Remember that. So, the disappointment in their own environment, right? Some of you guys are remodeling, removing, like we said, changing jobs, all of that stuff, quitting jobs. All that stuff is reprogramming your environment, because now what's happening is you don't go and get that same dose of energy, that negative energy every 5 days a week. You don't go and be around these people that, you know what, or, you stop inviting the people because every time you invite them it's some bullshit, or you stop going somewhere where you don't. You know what I mean? It's always some bullshit. You're getting rid of all the bullshit. Now what happens is all of those negative frequencies and energies and vibrations that were becoming part of you through osmosis, you now no longer have that negativity. You now no longer have that deduction in yourself. You see what I mean? You go back to the channel and look for the video that breaks down the word forgiveness. See? Because in order to forgive means you are giving a piece of yourself to someone else, or is it something else? That's forgiveness. Forgive. To give a piece of oneself. So every time you do that, you're lessening yourself, and that's why we were talking about earlier, weakening situation. Weakening. Let's continue. So the health was a decrease of strength, intoxication, poisoning. So yeah, this is where you say, you know what? Because let me put it in here, because the environment was poisoning you, right? And that's whether you realize it or not. Like I said, you going to work like everybody else because you feel like this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you can do. It's the closest thing you know to feeling like something you enjoy doing enough to keep going to do it so that you can, quote unquote, I got bills to pay, right? Which I understand. Now, what happens when you go beyond what you know, go beyond what you're used to. So you had to have a party with yourself. So you had to say, you know what, let me take some time to myself and just really go in. You see what I mean? People are just doing that today, and they thinking they're making discoveries. That's great. They are. You maybe did where they're at. Maybe you did that. This is your past actions. So you've done that in the past. You went inside yourself. You had that party with yourself, and you said, you know, I'm gonna get drunk off of me. And because you realize when you get drunk off of you, it's pure. The environment is toxic to you to some level, and you're starting to make changes, or you started to make changes in that environment. So that's why your strength was weakened in the past, right? poisoning. See, and some of the, like, your job thinks they. I ain't gonna say your job. Like, again, don't take this as the people themselves, but your job is feeling like it's slick because it knows it's poisoning you. Like, if you go back and watch the video on quit your job, doctor's orders, the ADA, whatever it is to the point now where they're giving disability for work-related post-traumatic stress disorders because a toxic workplace is now known to produce the same symptoms as PTSD, and as a result of elevated cortisol levels in the blood, whole systems in the body shut down, which is why you feel so much better when you know when you walk away from these situations, and you probably start digesting your food better. You're like, man, look, man, I took 4 shits today. I don't know what the fuck did I eat? Nothing. You didn't eat nothing extra. You just had all this bullshit stuck up in you because you've been in this position in life, dealing with these people, dealing with this shit that you ain't had no business dealing with. At this point, there was a point in time where you felt, if you look back, there was a point in time where you like, yeah, the meter was like, and then right here, if I look back at it, right here was the moment I had enough. Now, some people keep going, right? And then some people leave. You're going to be wrong if you keep going, and you're going to be demonized if you leave. So what you did was you left, and you came back because you wanted to give the test to see who really wanted to, because maybe it was me, right? Maybe it was me. So you come back and say, hey, look, let's see. And you're going to find that some people is going to show you that, hey, with this person, you know what, it might have been you. With this people, it definitely wasn't you. All right? So the poison is going to be removed because it's time for you to elevate into your strength. All right. So the psychological characteristics is insincere and unfriendly person. Remember, these people over here, these toxic, these people that's been poisoning, these situations that's been poisoning your job, your workplace, whatever it is that's been your poison, can't help. Your vibration, your energy is so right that you're like a microwave to them. When they come around you, they can't stay because they're gonna get cooked. They're gonna get cooked. So they only come around long enough when they need something. That's why they only come around when they need something, because when they need something, they are willing to pay the price of getting cooked for it, but they got to do it quick. They got to be in and they got to be out. And you done learned that, and you're just like, okay, cool, you know what I mean? Yeah. But how do I make this work for me? Well, okay, blah, 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 blah. And then in their mind, right, they feel like they're getting over on you. But again, go back to this up here, the supreme law. The Most High put it into them, either by themselves or by him or herself, or call up the devil, had them do it to make them think that it was their idea, and in reality, it worked to your advantage, and that makes them even more irritated with the situation because you weren't supposed to benefit. But when you in right with the supreme law, whatever that is to you, you can't help but to receive the benefits. That's what it is. And the advice is break up peacefully. Break up peacefully. You ain't gotta like I left. I took 2 days off, Monday and Tuesday, that I went in Wednesday, and this was the plan from the week before, like, cause I knew the HR lady would be there Wednesday, and I just came in, I did my little round, said bye to everybody, and The last person I talked to was the HR lady. After I sent the email, I came back, sent the email saying I was leaving to everybody, and then I went to the HR lady, turned in my badge, handed over my keys because I was doing the maintenance scheduler, so I was basically running the whole maintenance team from a scheduling standpoint, and I had my lead, my lead tech, and then the team, there. So that's, you don't gotta go in and make it a whole rah 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 rah. You know what? Cool. Hey, I appreciate it, because what happens is the time y'all spent together was the time you needed to spend together. Okay? Don't ever forget that in a situation. A lot of people want to get all, fuck that, you ain't and you ain't shit, and don't ever. That's the ones that don't get it. They the ones that don't get it. So the warning is your environment is unfriendly. So this is what your past was telling you, and the result is entertainment turned to be unfortunate. Feast did not bring joy. Okay, so continuing to go to that job, continue to go to that poor situation that keep poisoning you. That's what you're gonna get. All right, and you realize that, and you say, you know what, I gotta do something about it. So let's get in to see, what your advice is for the present, because that's what you had to go through. That's what we all go through in some way, shape, or form when we make shifts, big shifts. You know what I mean? So let's get it. Hold on a second. Give me a second. Shuffle these cards, and that's the thing. Everybody's doing their thing, but if what you're working on is beyond the people's field of view, it's a gift and a curse, because one, you're able to work on your shit for like a long time under the radar before anybody even realizes what you're doing, and then you could tell people what you're doing and they don't believe you because they can't see it, which that's the gift and the curse, because the people that you may be you're talking to in the form of, hey, let's build this and support each other through this, and they're like, what are you ain't even doing shit, and you're like, nah, I got this and that, don't even worry about it. They can't see it. And then for the people that you don't need to see it, they don't see it either, because it's not on the radar. So let's get it. What's the advice for the present? Freedom! Huh. Hold on. All right, I'm gonna get this up here for y'all, because the advice for the present is the Tower. Dun, 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 dun. So the Tower is known as God's house, right? Despite what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? So the old card the old name was the raised tower, right? Raised meaning, Raze. So war is conflict. All right, so destruction, earthquake, catastrophe, Tower of Babel type shit. You know what I'm saying? Now Mars is the god of war, etc. Right? Moving mind. Let's see how that gets into this play here. I think that has to do with everything shifting, right? You're shifting into another thing. But here we go. The general meaning is disappointment and resentfulness, fraud, coming apart, destruction, imprisonment, collapse, accident. Again, go back to the beginning, the core issue. Don't hold on to what don't belong. So the events is explosion of a bomb, accident, redundancy, scandal, bankruptcy, all that shit, right? Because we're gonna get to the advice portion, but this fits in with everything because everything has to collapse from the past. Everything that you were holding up has to. Remember when you pull that crutch out? Guess what? When you pull that crutch out, you don't need the crutch anymore. But everything else that was secretly or scandalous, what was it? Scandal, right? Everything that was scandalously being supported by you or by you being a crutch with or without your knowledge collapses. That's why they don't want you to remove the crutch. It ain't about you. It's about them. So, now, the business and work is force major, right? Downfall, accident, failed expectations and plans, redundancy, loss of position, impeachment, construction, business. See, all of this has to do with you when you're a perfectionist, right? And you reach the perfection in something and you lose that satisfaction now, not to say the satisfaction, but you lose the motivation because it's perfected. So the only way to get another dose of that drug is to destroy what you had built and perfected and rebuild it like a puzzle. Remember you used to put the puzzles together and be perfect. You get all the pieces and you're like, yeah, okay, let's take it apart, put it back in the box and we'll do it again later. You're like, what the fuck? Wait a minute, just spent. Right? That's like life, you know what I mean? So either you're going to destroy it and rebuild it, or you're going to leave it and then go and create something else. And that may not be a duplicate of the same type of thing you're doing. So maybe you did, it's a puzzle to you. They're all puzzles, but maybe this puzzle was of a castle. Maybe the next puzzle, you put that one and you put it together, you mount it on the wall like grandma or whatever, you glue it to some cardboard or, you know what I'm saying? And then you go work on the next puzzle of the picturesque mountain terrain in the horizon and the sun shining, you know what I mean? And that's how you keep satisfying your need to perfect something, because you keep creating new shit. All right? But all the old shit collapses because you're done with it. So the advice, let's get to the advice, right? Now, the psychological characteristics is consciousness, fail of an idea of great importance. You see what I'm saying? So, sudden brainstorm. Now, the advice is to take all possible precautions. Don't be a dreamer. Go down to the ground. Don't lose your head. Don't lose your head in the clouds. I'm going to just add the in the clouds part. And I think because this is a patch, right? We talked about how this is a circle, an open space in the clouds, going back to the core. Let me get this in here. And that goes to moving mind. Hold on. So Don't lose your head in the clouds. Stay grounded. Although you may be on higher ground. You see what I'm saying? Like, just like this. In this picture, it's stuck. They're in the clouds, right? With the authority. So you've reached this level of being in the clouds, right? Now, don't lose your head in the clouds. You see how they can only see 5 feet. If you expand, remember it was talking about the expansion. So if you expand a frequency, a boom, an explosion, and you blow up, boom, it's going to push, in theory, all that clouds away. And what now you can only see 5 feet from, you're going to be able to see 5 miles. And what's that view going to look like? You know what I mean? Like, I feel you that it said, hey, don't lose your head in the clouds. And you might take that a certain way. I'm looking at it from the core of the issue. And I'm seeing when you blow up, you're going to be able to see 10, 20, 100 times further, right? So, however, if you allow it to collapse on you, you're going to lose your head in the clouds. Like, you're going to be, now you're not going to be able to see 5 feet in front of you. You're going to be in the clouds. You're going to be going to completely, right? So when you blow up, your vision expands. And that's not necessarily to say, like, one, you already know the core issue was what? Monetary destiny, right? So we could talk about it in a figuratively money move way. When you blow up, you're gonna be able to see further. You're gonna be able to move faster because you're gonna have the assistance of the the capability with the finance, right? So I'm putting the moving mind here. Don't lose your head in the clouds, because when you blow up, your vision expands. Otherwise, or right, the clouds will collapse on you. All right, and then you'll be lost in the clouds. So let me see here. And I like that it said don't be a dreamer, because when we go back to, see, this is that thing. Remember we were talking about being seduced? So, like, if the building's on fire, the smoke is bellowing out, and the earthquake done happened, and half the mountain done fell off, and the half part of the tower is collapsing, and you still stand there talking about, no, but this is work, and I did that. All right. Now, at the same time, like you said, you came in, you gave them a test. If they didn't pass the test and you see the tower, then cool. This is why this shit's, you're being separated from shit. But I like this because don't be a dreamer. Like I said in the beginning, that book to me represents the authority. That's the authority. So the people around you don't know that you know what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? But you do. So that's why you're able to move with confidence. And keep in mind that this person, I'm going to say this person because I know you see a female there, a woman. But fellas, that don't let that stop you from being associated with this message. She's not panicked. You're not panicked. Meaning that your feet is on solid ground. See, when you go and you tell people that your head is in the clouds, just using this card for example, like you done got to this level and you're like, hey, come up here, you guys got to see this. And they're like, no, here in the clouds, no. They don't, remember, they're fragmented infinity, and they haven't gone beyond what they know, so they don't know that you got a spot on the ground that's high up enough to be in the clouds, and you're up there manipulating the clouds and expanding a field of view. You see what I'm saying? You comfortable at this level, and you got the authority, and you're being guided to the next level. All right. The result is an eruption to the freedom. What? I didn't even pull the card when I was like, freedom. So, eruption to the freedom. Like, what I got here? Again, that goes back to let go of everything that ain't for you, because, wow, I was saying it, when you blow up, your vision expands. And wow, it said eruption to freedom. I'm gonna just put it like that. So let's see what your present feelings and ideas are. All right. I'm gonna leave this up here so you can see what we got going on here for you. All right. So we got 40, that's a 9. Yeah. Yeah. Man, you guys are going great places. Big. All right, so what we got now, right, is the Sun card. Now, the Sun card is the bright light, okay? So as far as your present feelings and ideas, you know what I mean? You got bright light, you got kingdom of light, you got the sun being the astrological point, right? And you got the general meaning is material wealth, fortune, happy, marriage, vitality, satisfaction, and warmth. Boom! That's that explosion. You know what I mean? Like when the bomb go off, don't it look like this? When the Hiroshima, when the bomb, the nuclear bomb blew up, boom, and it left that in the sky, everybody was blinded for a second. You're the sun blowing up. So now you done exploded into the sun, bright. Your present feelings, ideas, or you feel like you done exploded into this. You feel like you became the sun, right? And what I mean by that is light. Light is knowledge and wisdom, right? And if you didn't know before that your environment was like poisoning you, and then you find out, and then you remove all that shit, and you get into your power, and you become nuclear, and you start radiating and broadcasting that energy. What? You are the sun, right? But now you know. Remember, you know now. See, you know. You have what? Go back to here. You have the authority in your hand. You know the authority now, so it's got you feeling powerful. All right. As far as the energy standpoint, you're married to yourself now. This is why you're moving on your purpose. This is why you're gonna have wealth, your material wealth, spiritual wealth, physical wealth, health wealth, satisfaction. I don't really like the word satisfaction because the word sad actually means to satisfy. And that's kind of like going back to that perfectionist thing. Once you become satisfied, what do you do now? You gotta go do something else. You know what I mean? That's why the word sad I guess translates to satisfied. So, but the warmth part and everything else is great. But you know what? There's gonna be some satisfaction involved with this, because you're gonna realize that, you know what, those hard choices you had to make, you know what I mean, letting go of this person, this place, that place, work, that part, all this stuff, you know what I mean, you're feeling the recovery now. And whether you associate it with those choices or not, you feel better. So you're satisfied there. And what happens is you're satisfied because of your growth, because of where you're at now, because of what you're able to do now. The satisfaction part, the sadness, is that the people you wanted to bring with you to share this with you aren't there. Or some of them, or most of them, many of them, or all of them, whatever it is for you. So in the middle of the material wealth, the fortune, the married to the game, to the bag, to the purpose, your vitality and your warmth, you're gonna be sad because, man, I wish so and so was here to enjoy this. Like, you've had that before. I know you've been at that celebration for you. You've been at that moment for you. You've been at that for you, and you were just like, in the middle of it all going on, everybody's cheering for you, celebrating, whatever, toasting, yeah, and you're like, yeah. And then there's that moment where it's that one moment. It might only be a split second, but you're just like, man, I wish so-and-so was here to see this. That's the sadness in the middle of the radiation, right? So the events are luck, clearing up. Okay, so let's go back to the core. See, that kind of, now this is your present feelings and ideas. So that go back to the core, that this now proves that the clouds are clearing instead of closing in on you. And this is why you're looking so with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this is about to see what's on the other side of this wall of clouds. We about to get this. It's like you at the motherfucking Let's Make a Deal game back in the day. And it's like, do you want door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3? You're like, yeah, we're gonna see behind what's all 3 of them, and I'm gonna pick afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, open them all up, motherfucker. We gonna open them all up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pick when I see what I want. You see? Because your vision is expanding, and so, all right. Open actions, the emergence of new opportunities, an influx of energy. See, woo! Once you let go of what's holding you back, what's that? That's like a slingshot. You're like, it's like a bow and arrow. You pull that shit back. It's holding you back. But when it let go, finally, you off to the right. Like you, all right. You get what I'm saying. So that's why the universe in the beginning is saying, let it happen. You know what I mean? Let it happen. Because it's part of your catapult. You know what I'm saying? You are being catapulted into your purpose. Into the ability to fulfill your purpose. Right? You're being catapulted. How you spell catapult? Catapulted. All right. Into being able to fulfill your purpose and reach your destiny. Against all odds. All right, let me get back to the card here for you. All right, see, now with that being said, though, look at this card. The sun is there. Oh man, look at the clouds in the background. Like the sun done popped through the clouds and everything. You know what I mean? It done broke through the clouds. Poof, broke through the clouds. And guess what the sun's doing? It's being the sun. And guess what the sunflower's doing? Soaking up the sun's energy. You see what I mean? When whatever was keeping you in the clouds basically was keeping you away from those that knew your true value. You see, a lot of people, you got people in your life that are bad mouthing you. It's not because they really feel bad about you. Like, they don't, what it is that they know your value. And now because they don't have the access to you that they did, they don't really want others to have it without them. So they need to badmouth you, not because you're bad, but because they need to give people a reason to stay away from you so they don't realize your greatness. See, they've been around you long enough to know your greatness, to know your true value. And they're like, oh shit, the motherfucking sun's coming out. Where's the shade at? You see what I'm saying? You with me on that, right? All right. So the business is abound in the market. Gold rush, alcohol business. There you go. Get drunk off of you. All right. Festivities, prestige, relaxation, horse trade. You know what I mean? I get you some mares. All right. So relationship, kindness, warmth, reconciliation. It says forgiveness, but I told you how I feel about that. I think the reconciliation is gonna be, again, when you come back, it's gonna be the authentic people. You're gonna reconcile with them, and then the other ones, they're gonna expose themselves as being the ones that are toxic and poisoning, and they're gonna feel like it's their idea, that they don't want to be around you, and that's great. Cool. So that's how the world is gonna work for you. You just gotta let it happen. Don't chase. All right. So frankness, self-sufficiency, right? And now that you're self-sufficient, it increases your trust in yourself, in those around you, because now where you didn't have time, because now you were so split in so many different pieces, when you put yourself back together and become whole, guess what you got? You got time for yourself. Now, what's part of your body? You get to pick now. I get to decide what I want to be part of my body, because now I got time to incorporate whatever I want or whatever I need, or whatever you want or whatever you need. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you have yourself all together, you are free. What it say? Eruption into freedom. You are free to decide. Otherwise, you always got something holding you back. I got this, I got that, I got this, I got that, this, that, the other. Okay, cool. That's what you married to. You see what I'm saying? As long as you got that mental marriage to everything but yourself, guess what? You're not free. No matter how much you want to down talk another person, you're not free. And that's why you mad, because you see elements that they're more freer than you. And that's why that person is angry at you. They don't want to tell you they're jealous. They don't want to tell you. But see, they don't want to tell you how they feel. But then again, they don't want to put in the work on the level and the intensity that you did to get to that point. Remember, they can only see 5 feet. You're seeing 5 miles. So they're working hard in their mind to do this in this 5 feet radius. They can't imagine, they can't fathom the work you're doing in 5 mile radius to do the same type of construction. And on top of that, you make it look easy. Because why? Only because, not because you're anything great or nothing. Don't go getting big headed. It's simply because you took the time to do the party with yourself years ago. So you realize, hey, no, I'm going to say no to this. Nope, I don't want that. Nope. See, people they're not able to say no. Like, if you call someone and say, hey, what you doing? You know, want to get up? Yeah. I got this, that, the other. Why are you saying all that? If you're not going to do it and you know that's inconvenient, just say no. They going to talk shit about you because they couldn't tell you no. But they don't see the same as you. That's why they can't go to where you're going. All right. Okay. So, wish to show oneself And though it is empty, however, it is attracting attention. Remember, your cup was emptied out because now you emptied your cup. Some of you emptied it yourself, some of it was emptied for you, and now you have opportunity to show yourself what it feels like to fill it up with the right stuff. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people want to show themselves. And then there's the other people that want someone to show them. Two separate mindsets. Like personally, I'm getting over it. I'm growing in the arena of saying, hey, look, I'm growing up as a Virgo, finally, and I'm to the point where look, it's hard for me to say right now, and I'm just talking to y'all. Like, this we all got shit, but you know what I mean. When you say to yourself, you know what, I'm gonna ask for help, and it's not because like you really need help, like in that sense. It's just because you've been used to doing it for so long that now you realize, hey, you know what, this next level shit is people waiting to help me. These sunflowers here are gonna be able to see my value, and we're all gonna be able to support each other. You see what I'm saying? So now it's not like the sun was like, you know what, I can't, I don't. You see what I mean? The sunflowers didn't go look for shade when the sun came out. They embraced the sun. All right, so where we at here? Now the health is sunburn, sunstroke, energy, strong health, and female alcoholism. Like, that sounds like a day at the beach. Everybody drunk. All right, now, again, we know alcohol is a poison, so let's not be drunk. Be responsible. Every once in a blue moon, I think everybody has, well, I ain't gonna say everybody. A lot of people have at least one drink a year. You know what I'm saying? So don't make it a tall glass if you only need a regular cup. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. But otherwise, you're having a great time. Now, psychological characteristics is consciousness. It's the reveal of the real. The reveal of the real I. The I. Look at that. Look at matter of fact, look at this card. It's a period. The sunflowers form a little triangle around it, and the sun is in there. Is that the all-seeing eye going on right there? Anyway, it's the reveal of the eye. You see what I mean? Once you get in touch with yourself, you know what you don't like and what you do like. People ask you why some people may feel like, yo, why ain't you been around? It's not really about them. It's about you had to go do stuff for you. This is part of why they don't see it. It's part of why they can't see what you're doing, because you're not around when you're doing it. And it's two sides of that. You wanted them to, you would enjoy them being a part of it, but they didn't want to come. Now, there's two sides of that. Did they not want to show up because you repelled them? Did they not want to show up because the toxicity of the environment and they're trying to get you out of that and you want them to keep coming back into it? Or did they not want to come because they're building their own shit and you can't be two places at one time? I mean, there's infinity of possibilities. Remember, go back to the infinity. All right? But don't assume. Like, negative people always want to find negative shit to say, right? Of all the infinity of shit, it's always something negative they come up with. So, reveal of the real I. Person who, no matter what, will reach his goal individually. That's what I'm saying. You had to break free from the clouds. Now you out there shining. Okay? This is what's coming for you. Matter of fact, this is what's here now for you. Welcome. Welcome to the I party. All right? So now the warning is, don't overestimate your power. Don't be naive, commonplace, or carefree. Don't get sunburned, giddiness with achievements, or greediness. See? This is part of why, when you really doing this right, it's part of why they don't know what you're doing. This is part of why they feel like you ain't doing shit. Because you're not really. It's like those. I know a bunch of you do this. You go somewhere, you enjoy yourself, you take some pictures, and you post them to your social media. Hours later, days later, right? Don't because part of what social media and promoting on business is your lifestyle, right? If you're promoting something, for those that aren't into branding and everything, I remember, like, oh man, must have been like 10 years ago. I posted a picture of some food or something, and they're like, man, you're a man. What are you doing posting pictures of food and plates and stuff on Facebook and da-da-da-da? And it was like, bro, like, you don't understand, this is marketing. Like, when you're doing something, like, and you post a cheesesteak, there's gonna be 10,000 people that are like, yo, I like cheesesteaks too. So a percentage of them would never have entertained what you offer if they never saw that cheesesteak, so they can connect with you, so they can find something about you other than what you selling. You know what I mean? That they can be like, oh, I like cheesesteaks too. Hey, what you into? And that's the same way it happens in the street, in face to face, right? So you can't, if you walk up to somebody and your product is not just, they were just not looking for it 10 minutes ago, and you go, hey, look, I'm selling this, that, and the other. They're gonna be like, what? But when you can build a connection with them as a salesperson, right? Because that's what everything really is. I mean, if you cut the bullshit, get to the finish, you're trying to sell something. You're trying to sell. A lot of y'all trying to sell yourselves to be deemed relationship value, right? And don't know that just the interaction is a relationship. Anyway, look, let me get into it. Let me get into this for you. So, the result is the liberation from the dark. Boom. You in light now. All right. So darkness defeat, full realization of personality, and total safety. So when you get into your purpose, right? Like I said, everything you need is going to be supplied for you to fulfill your purpose and destiny. Okay. So let's see where the situation is headed here. All right, 6028. Infinity again, another 8. We got 8s all over the place. Going back to that self-love. See, when you love yourself, right? And I know, let me say it like this. When you are love yourself, you see? Because I don't like it as a verb, because it's really, the word love is a noun, but we did a whole video on that. Go check it out on the YNS7 channel. So, but when you are love yourself, you see what I mean? You are the different grade. You know what I mean? And that's a gift and a curse, because you're always going to have disconnect. And when you are the different grade, right? Or remember, the word respect means relate. You see what I'm saying? Now, the people that in the darkness, despite how enlightened they believe they are can't relate to really being the son. Wow, that's like the whole Jesus story, right? So, here we go. Seven of Cups for you, okay? So, what we got going on here, right, is the Lord of Illusionary Success. So, a lot of possibilities, right? Illusions. Remember, check out the song Room. Shameless plug here. Check out the song Room Service. I'm going to call you zero for infinity. See what I'm saying? Like, that's what people are losing sight of right now. They're losing sight of it, of a infinity, and they're blaming you for having a view of what's possible. Remember what I said earlier? When you fraction or compartmentalize a piece of infinity, it's a fantasy. That's the illusion. All right, so events is dizzying perspective. A lot of suggestions, though only one is useful. Bam! Which one is useful? The authority you got when you got the light. When you became the light and you blew up. Right? The authority actually is, let me get this right. The authority here is what made you put down the crutch. You see what I'm saying? When you got to this point, you worked hella hard to get here. Excuse me. You got your authority. You know what's going to go down. And matter of fact, that might be all this shit going on. Look, you got all these little signs here, and it's funny that the little arrow at the top there is pointing like, no, go back this way, go that. It's like, you know what I mean? And you got, look, even the little M here is saying, no, that way. You know, everything is kind of like, no, go back. You know, it is like, you got the book, you got the authority, and you like, nah, this is the path for me here. And you laid down everything else. You put it all down. You set it all down. And it's that same car where the people on the back side of the mountain say, hey, come back. Hey, come back. Remember we talked about that in a couple ones ago. And you was like, you know what? You turned all that loose, right? And you erased everything, right? And you said, we got to empty this cup. And fucking everything collapsed, right? And bam. On the other side of the wall, you find your peace. Okay? You find your peace. So, a lot of suggestions, though only one is useful. You got a lot of people in your ear right now telling you a lot of shit. You're going to feel what's right for you, and you're going to feel what's not. What's important is you gave everybody a chance. Because that way, you don't miss what is for you. And at the end of the day, nobody can say or blame you because it was their choice not to come with you. So the business is virtual and multiplication, marketing with video cassettes, good income, fun fair, minor show business, but not at television. And the business brings good income. Now, what's good to you? Is good 50,000 a year? Is it 100,000? Is it 100,000 a month? You define what good is for you, right? So the relationship is overfull with everything. Love of two, right? Morphiness. And a concession to small weaknesses and discovery in those weaknesses, some satisfaction. Right? So you fine tuning yourself. And you're in a world you're entering into the world of abundance. You see what I'm saying? Matter of fact, look, is this her breaking through the clouds here too? You see what I'm saying? Now you done broke through the clouds. You got the Parthenon, but you know you got your little mansion with the columns and shit. You out here with you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? All right, you did that thing. So you got some light drugs, addiction, intoxication, overdose, you know what I'm saying? You know, just, you know, normal shit. Right? But desire forms every addiction. Go check it out. I got the video. You know, we got the video on the YN7 channel. So desire forms every addiction. So when they say drugs and addiction, you know, go see desire, whatever you desire, right? If you are focused on, you know, when I scroll through Facebook and I see, you know, the last 15 posts from someone is about, you know, this killing and this, that, and person, that's their drug. If you take them out of the environment where that doesn't happen, what the fuck are they gonna do? You can't take a person focused on murder, death, kill, and put them in a peaceful society. They won't know what to do. They have to create they have to, you know what I mean? You can't take a person that their whole timeline is drama, right? And put them in a peaceful position, because then what the fuck are they gonna do? You see what I'm saying? How long are they going to last at peace? Now, that's the ones that don't want to go beyond what they know. Don't want to go beyond the right now. However, those that want recovery, those that want to be rehabilitated will feel the peace, feel the energetic difference, and be like, yo, what the fuck was that? I need some more of that. And then their addiction shifts to peace. But peace is a motherfucker, because a lot of people, they're not ready for peace. Because you gotta be able to say no to maintain your peace. You gotta be able to disappear for some time and pop back up when you get ready, because that's your peace. Without worrying about someone saying, well, you ain't called me and you ain't show up, you ain't been around. You know what? My life. Right? Now, when a person takes your life and holds you hostage because of your life, right? Then now that's basically a shackle on you. You see what I'm saying? When a person says, hey, you can't come in and out of my life when you want to, then they don't appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? That's the same person that you let them live, but they don't see you letting them live. Remember, they feel like they getting over on you, right? But you let them live because you value life. But then they want to hold you hostage and say, oh, well, if you don't do this or you don't be like this, then I'm gonna withhold myself. Well, then you know what? Cool. Because when you start flying around the world, what the fuck you think they gonna be saying to you when you go on a 6-month tour? They can't handle you disappearing now. What the fuck they gonna do then? The people that are for you are waiting for you on the wall, and the people that are meant to go with you over the wall are showcasing themselves, and you are actually realizing the real you if you have not already. So, psychological is a person giving too much promises. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is why I don't do titles. Like, I'm speaking of me right now as an example. So, I don't give titles. Why? Because a title is a promise. I can't promise you shit. I don't know what the fuck you gonna do tomorrow. How am I gonna promise I'm gonna want to see you tomorrow? I don't know what you plan on doing 10 minutes from now, an hour from now. You know, we're gonna work this out when we get there. You know what I'm saying? Again, when you really get into yourself and you find peace, you're gonna be really, really weird to a lot of people. And when you start to just say, you know, the closer you get to your purpose, the more peace you're going to find, and you're going to be in that energy, you're going to become the light, you're going to get even weirder. And they're just going to be like, oh shit, the motherfucker is leveling up. Now, we got to find some way to, you know, spread this rumors about, you know, use that as marketing. When you got people talking shit about you, that is promotion. Because they're talking to people that don't know you. That's the only way it works. Because if there are people that know you are going to be like, hey, wait a minute, nah. You got that all wrong. Like, something wrong with you. So I scheduled you for maintenance. All right, we're going to get to that. Yeah, all right, we're going to fix that up. All right, so anyway, choose wisely. Choice is very serious. Do not make a mistake, right? And a time a great amount of various opportunities in your life. So when you get down with you and you stop bullshitting with all this forgiveness and giving everybody parts of yourself, and they, you half left, and you whatever, you know what I mean, you'll have you're gonna level the fuck up, you know what I'm saying, and you're gonna go out there and you're gonna fulfill that goal, that dream, that destiny that you got. So let's see what the advice is for the future. And look at this. The only time you weren't feeling by yourself was before you chose to fulfill your destiny. So there's going to be a period of emptiness, right? That's the best part. Because when it's empty, right? When it's completely empty, now you can feel it. Now you can rebuild it. You know what I mean? Like, how many people have said in their life, like, look, man, if I could go back in life and what I know now. Well, guess what? When you empty everything the fuck out, that's what it is. That is the going back. Okay, you know what? Get rid of all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of y'all get ready to just buy new furniture. Why? Because you're moving and you're not taking the old shit with you. You don't even feel like being bothered with that shit when you could just have the company deliver the new shit to you. You see what I'm saying? Like, clear out everything. Make it empty, because now you can build it based on what you know now. Because you've learned from the mistakes. You went through some things. You were in the fog before. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see here. Get you some advice and get you up out of here. I appreciate the time we spent together today. It was good. I know it's been a minute. We've all been working on some shit. Don't be holding me hostage. Don't be trying to hold my life hostage. I'll pop up when I pop up, because it's the perfect time I was supposed to pop up. All right? You just make sure you subscribe to the notification bell. You know what I'm saying? And that way you get the ding ding every time I pop up, and you know it's room service. Come on through. You know what I mean? Get it. Now, at the same time, I know you got a life, and that's the best part about the ding ding. When it pops up, you know what I mean? You can get it when it's best for you. You see what I'm saying? All right. Let's see here. 6, 16, 12, 13, 4. All right, let's get you up out of here. What advice we got for the future here? Got some decisions. Oh. Bum. All right, hold on. Let me get this out here for you. So what we got is we got the Ace of Swords in reverse, right? So now the Ace of Swords is the root of the powers of air. Now, is that not oxymoronic? The root, because we be in the roots. All right, the root of the powers of air. Now, when it's in reverse, it's aggression and directed inwards. Okay, so you're gonna go fucking hard as shit, right? And you're gonna go inside yourself, and you're gonna find this mastery of yourself, and it's gonna fucking blow you up. Man, you got it all coming. You got it all coming. All right. So remember, the events of self-destruction or provocation of negative situations. So I think we've covered all that in the past. You're gonna have to self-destruct. You're gonna have to destroy yourself to rebuild yourself. You're gonna have to get rid of you're gonna have to provoke the negative situations into leaving, into disappearing, into clearing yourself of the poison, the toxicity. The business, there's gonna be a downfall in business, a devaluation, a panic, and possible decrease of income. Why? Because you're walking away from every fucking thing, so you can clear it out, so that you can make room for the big explosion and blow up of all your finances and your miracle and all that stuff. I ain't gonna say miracle, but what we call it, your money coming, your big money, the big bag is coming. All right, or at least one of them, right? The first one. There we go. So now the relationships or partners are secretly being angry. We talked about that. Angry on one another. We talked about why. You know what I mean? So that stuff we broke down. And there are accumulating grievances and aggression. So long-term silent quarrels, no talking days. You know what I mean? That's what we're talking about. Like, you go out and do you for a while. You come back like, hey, I'm here. They're like, oh, now you want to pop up. Now you want to make yourself. What makes you think I got time for you? You know what? Cool. You might not. Just let me know. Whatever it is. Hey, look, business, no business. Okay, cool. We want to do this job. We're not going to do this job. Whatever it is. Like, just say what it is. Don't be fake about the shit. You know what I mean? So health is a disease which a person is withering. So, that, remember, we talked about there was you had to get rid of the illness, and then now you're in a period of recovery, and then you went into your max health and you're blowing up now. Boom. So the psychological characteristics was inner stress, about to break. So, you know what I mean? All that shit that was filled inside of you, that toxicity and everything, you broke that motherfucking Easter egg open, and you popped out all that stress, you threw it away, whatever it was. You know what I mean? You broke that hourglass that had that sand counting down shit, time and everything. You just said, fuck time. You know what I mean? This is my time now. I'm going to go inside myself. I'm going to find myself, and I'm going to do what I need to do, because this is my time now. You know what I'm saying? So, now the advice, right, is reduce risk or do not get into risky situations. All right. So that's the thing. When you got the authority, you feel and you move different, because, that's the mind moving. You move different, and that's why to them there's something wrong with you, because you moving different. They don't understand it. They can't relate to it. Every time you turn around, they talk about you disrespected them, or they feel disrespected, or they just don't relate, which is also the definition of disrespect. So that's the issue. You really ain't done nothing wrong to nobody, and they haven't done nothing wrong to you in this situation that you're dealing with. It's just that you're leveling up, and they don't want to go. Whether they realize they're saying that they don't want to go because you're giving them the option. You didn't remember, you tested them. You didn't actually say, hey, look, this is all the stuff, wonderful things that's happening in my life, and I want you to be a part of it and come with me. You said, you know what? I'm cautious. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if you let's see how you act here. Let's see how you act in this case, in this situation. And you're giving them opportunities to prove themselves. And like DMX said, just trust you see them when you see them. You see what I'm saying? So warning is, do not accumulate aggression in yourself. You see what I mean? So when you're seeing these people do this stuff, just know that, you know what I mean? It's for the good. It's for the better. When this stuff happens, don't because it's for your greater purpose and your greater good. All right? And that's pretty much it. All right? Pasha Paro. I think this is great. Look, you going to the next level, people. You know what I mean? You're gonna put in a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Some people that don't want to see you make it, but at the same time, they not like against you, right? They're just not for you, and that's okay, because they don't understand now. what they will understand hopefully at some point in their life later on. Remember, you spent a lot of time years ago telling people stuff that they're acting like they just found out today. So take that and know that what you're working on now that you told people years ago too, imagine what you're saying today and what it's going to be 5 years from now. That's what you need to hang on to. Pasha Fabo, Tarot Files. Thank you for tuning. The replay for those that ain't live.